What's up, everyone? It's a really hot day out today. I just feel like you step outside and you just like melt. It's just one of those nasty, like it's not even humid, but just a really just hot day, just like blistering hot. So I recharged my AC and the Forester a couple days ago. Seems to be a little bit better, but I think it's the compressor maybe, because it doesn't really blow incredibly hard. And like that kind of ticky noise that I'm sure you guys can hear. And I apologize if it's kind of annoying, but we gotta deal with it. I'm in the Forester today because I have a decent amount of packages and they will not all fit into the Evo or the M3 in one trip. So I just really did not feel like taking multiple round trips because I'm on a bit of a tight schedule today. I've been really busy this last week, especially between finals, and I had an event over the weekend that I had to prepare for work. So that's why you didn't really see many videos last week, but I filmed a couple. One of the videos I filmed was I did the Ford North American track tour, I believe it's called, where you go out to a track that they're at and you pretty much learn about the Mustang GT350, and you get to take it out on the track for 3 laps, and they also let you go out with an instructor for 1 hot lap. So I filmed that experience, but I've been waiting to upload that video because they're apparently supposed to be sending me footage of, or sending everybody footage of you driving the car and getting your hot lap experience. So that would be cool. I'd rather include that in the video, so I'm kind of waiting to see what happens with that. But yeah, overall, I mean, I talked about this in the video that I filmed, but I'll touch on it a little bit here. I was pretty much, I got what I expected from that event. I mean, it was 100% free, and you pretty much, it was out of Buttonwillow, so we go out there, and they say, I mean, there's free food out there, which was great. There was like refreshments and stuff, and like a little buffet, so you can't argue with that. So that already made it worth it right there. And yeah, it was cool. Luckily I was the first group out on the track because it started to rain right after I got off the track, so that worked out. I feel like someone just honked, but yeah, this little kid right here to the left of me is tripping out because he's watching me just talk to my camera like an idiot, which is, I swear I need to get some window tint put on this car, some darker tint, but I don't really want to pay for that, so I might just do it myself because it helped with the heat also. But as I was saying, it was, if the track were not so close to me, then I wouldn't have gone. It would have been a really long drive for really not a whole lot. But yeah, it was pretty much like I said, what I expected. I mean, the first lap out was like a super warm-up lap. Unfortunately, the people that were in my driving group were not very experienced on the track, so I was getting held up a lot by people. I started off as the lead car, but I caught up pretty quickly to the last car. And I mean, at one point I had to slow down to 20 miles per hour on the back straight on Buttonwillow to give you an idea of how slow some of these people were going. So it was pretty brutal. I would say I got about like 1 lap of full speed. They didn't even run the full Buttonwillow. It was a shortened version of it that I've never, it goes like through Zorro's Corner or something like that. I've never driven that. It was an interesting configuration. Didn't really like that configuration too much, but the car was awesome. I liked it a lot, and it was actually exceeded my expectations. So that was nice. But yeah, like I said, all in all, if, you know, I think it's the last time I'm doing it anyway, but if there's one nearby you, you should go. But if it's like an hour, if it's more than an hour and away, I would not do it. So yeah, but like I said, it's a bit of a tight schedule today. Today is Wing Wednesday, so that means that now, after I'm done with the gym and some work and stuff, I get to go out and eat a ton of hot wings, which will be like my cheat day, I guess. So I'm looking forward to that. Really looking forward to that. And it's weird because for some reason I for a couple of days wasn't really intermittent fasting. It just, I don't really remember why I stopped it, but pretty much I'd eaten earlier than my usual, and that kind of threw me off schedule. And ever since then, I've been like struggling to make it to like my like regular 5 o'clock eating window, which is really like kind of just weird how I'm having such a hard time adjusting to it again. But yeah, I was feeling pretty trashy at the gym yesterday, so I'm gonna go ahead and see. Hopefully I'll feel better today. But yeah, there's a car meet this weekend. I know people like TJ Hunt and stuff are gonna be going. I was invited to go. We'll see. I'll be in the area with the M3. I'm actually gonna get it looked at finally, get that track inspection done I told you guys about. So I might bring that car by. I might meet some of you guys out there. We'll see. But yeah, I've just pretty much, you know, same old. I'm actually starting a GoFundMe to build the motor for the Evo, so I can finally just get that done, just be done with it. So if you guys are interested in helping me out and helping the channel out in the car, go ahead and feel free to leave your donation at the link. Yeah, I'm totally kidding, guys, by the way. There's no way I would ever make a GoFundMe to build the motor on my own car, unless for some weird reason I did not have the money to do it. But even then, if I didn't have the money to do it, I think that I would not be building the motor on my car. I'd be spending it on like living necessities. So I don't know, I think it's funny when people do GoFundMes when they clearly have the money, they just like don't want to spend it. It just shows what their priorities are. And I think it's taking advantage of your viewers also, because your viewers want to support you, but you can't take advantage of them like that. So you know, if at some point I ever make a GoFundMe, it's gonna be for a really good reason, I'll tell you guys that. Oh man, this is a really busy school zone. There's actually a really bad accident here a couple days ago. Car ended up on its roof, so being really careful around here. But yeah, I came into this video with the game plan, guys. I really did. I had all these topics I was gonna hit and talk about, but I stepped outside and just, I'm feeling really muggy and just tired, and I honestly kind of forgot half the things I was going to talk about. So you're kind of stuck just watching me go off the top of my head, which I guess you're used to, but whatever. So let's see. I'm thinking about doing a new clothing company because I found a really easy and efficient way to make and offer lots of designs and colors and pieces of clothing like tank tops, long sleeves, hoodies, you know, you name it. I found a really easy way to do that, so I'm gonna probably be making a new company. I've just been having a huge mental block with finding a good name, and the beauty of this system that I found is that I kind of abandoned Mod Thoughts for right now, because I found out that it was just starting to take too much of my time away from my primary business, which is the puzzle retail, and I just couldn't really afford that right now. The puzzle retail business is growing and it needs all the attention that I can give it, so I kind of dialed back on that. But pretty much this new clothing line would be hands-free, pretty much. I would just be there. I would make the designs, and then that would be it. I would have someone else fulfilling the orders, making the apparel, everything. So it would just be completely, you know, easy, and just like, it would take really much of my time. So I figure, why not? I just need to get a really good name. I was kind of inspired by Christian Guzman's Alpha Elite Athletics. Oh, perfect, DHL's right here. So let me go ahead and drop off these packages, and then I'll finish that thought. Alright, so that wasn't so bad. Actually worked out really easily for me, because DHL was here like I said. So instead of having to wait overnight to have to pick up the next day, I caught them right now, which worked out because those packages are really high dollar value. So, I mean, I like to get them out as quickly as possible. But as I was saying, I was really inspired by Christian Guzman's company. I love that company name, Alpha Elite, because it's something that, yeah, it sounds like athlete, so you would think that he would, it's primarily athletics, but technically he could turn it into like a lifestyle kind of thing also, which he's actually doing. I just feel like he can do a lot with that name. It's not very limiting. Whereas a name like Go Fast Cars or Turbo Solutions, you know, something like that, just for an example, you know, it kind of limits you more to what you can sell and who your outreach is. So I'm just trying to find a name that would kind of be like a lifestyle brand that could be for car stuff, for workout stuff, you know, for whatever, just for like clean casual clothes, you know, just stuff like that. So if you guys have any name suggestions, feel free to message me, and if I end up using your name, I'll compensate you in some way, whether it be free clothing or something like that. So we'll see. But if you have any ideas, shoot me a message or email me 370zforme@gmail.com. But speaking about business, and I don't mean to bore you guys, so hopefully you guys find the whole business stuff interesting, because I think that lots of people always say they want to run their own business, and I get lots of comments asking for business advice. So I figure kind of twining the business and car stuff in these vlogs is kind of valuable if I cover like the car stuff in the first half and the business stuff in the second half. So if you guys want to stick around and listen, feel free to do so. If not, I'll see you in the next video. So with business stuff, people think that running a business is easy a lot of the time, and that it's like great, you're your own boss, you work your own hours, you don't work a lot, you just, you can always be out doing stuff with your friends, going out Friday, Saturday nights. Couldn't be farther from the truth. It can be like that if you build your company up to a certain level and set yourself up to be in that position. But off the bat, it does not work like that. Like right now, I pretty much would say I almost started a new business with the puzzle retail, because I rebranded the entire company and pretty much rebuilt it from the ground up. I just used the same name, which would help with some previous customers and stuff. I pretty much started from scratch. So I was reading a forum post where somebody wanted to start a competing puzzle shop, and they're saying how their argument for making another one, because there are already so many puzzle shops in the world, that especially in the US now, that it's just there's not really much more room for competition. It's like everyone just undercuts themselves, kind of like the car industry, where you just undercut on price to get sales, and just is kind of killing the market a little bit, because it's taking away sales for the short term, but not profiting enough to survive. So they end up going out of business anyway. So it just hurts bigger companies like mine. And he was saying how he thinks that since he has good business ethics, his company will never ever have issues. And I just couldn't help but chuckle, because people forget, when you deal with a business like DHL, for example, they have to be really good to me, but there's other aspects that you can't control when you have a company, like shipping, depending on what you're doing, of course. There's shipping, there's website maintenance, there's all kinds of things people forget about, that there's like 1,000,001 little things that are small, but they add up and to make tons of issues, and it's just, you have to deal with them as they make themselves prominent. But I mean, you have to be ready for that, and you can't just expect that, I do the best job that I can, of course, but issues still happen. Whether the post office loses a package, I told you guys about all those packages that they lost. What if a product arrives damaged? What if a product is defective? Stuff happens that you just cannot control to an extent. Like, yeah, I could sit here and go through every single product to make sure it's not defective, but for one, that's going to be really time consuming, and two, the people won't be receiving a brand new product anymore. It'll have been used. So it just, there's always going to be issues, and I think that part of being a good businessman is, or business owner, is knowing how to deal with those issues effectively and quickly to help satisfy your customers and make things right, because customer service is pinnacle. I pride myself on how good my customer service is. I take it very seriously. Sometimes things happen and people ask for unreasonable requests, but I always do what I believe is fair, and I do the best that I can. And even if things are not my fault, I'll usually still help out people to make sure they end up with something or some sort of compensation, even if it's not my fault, just because they're my customers and I care. So I was going to talk about fraud, because fraud has been a huge issue for me, especially in these past couple of weeks as I've been growing. But it's been an issue for me ever since I've been in business. But like I said, especially these past few weeks, it has been killing me. I've had like 12 fraud claims in the past week, all of which are from the same country, which I don't plan on ever shipping to again now because they kind of ruined it. And they've all been high dollar orders. Now I have a fraud filter detection on the website that, if a credit card is stolen, the billing address doesn't match up, or if the card is issued in a different country, there's a bunch of different options that will trigger at checkout if it's a potential fraud transaction. But to an extent, that only works if it's that type of fraud. There's dishonest people in the world, which I hate to say it, but there is. This is mind blowing to me, guys. I had a customer who has been pretty loyal to me for the past year, and half their orders are fraud. They just marked them out of nowhere. They just said that half their orders were fraud. And so I got this new order from him, and this is before he'd marked them as fraud, by the way. He ordered it with express one-day shipping, and it was a $40 cube. He paid $40 for shipping. So I thought that was kind of strange at first. I'm maybe he just needs it in a hurry. I looked at his history. He's been a good customer of mine, so I'm gonna go ahead and take care of it, because usually if I'm suspicious of something, I will investigate it further, but that obviously holds up the shipping of the package. So I trusted him, which is my first mistake. And you guys have to hang on again. I'm now at the second pit stop, so I'll be right back. Once again, gotta drop off the remainder of the packages. So as I was saying, I decided to trust this guy, which was my mistake, and I've learned from it. But I trusted him due to his history with my company and loyalty. So the next day, his package was out for delivery on schedule. I get a call from the postal service saying that there is an error with his address and that they couldn't deliver the package. So I give the customer a call, and I actually talked to this guy over the phone, and he confirmed his address for me. He was thanking me so much and everything like that, saying how great I was and everything. And then the next day, he files a fraud charge on the order, and the billing and shipping address were the same, so it's pretty clear that he's just being dishonest. And then he filed fraud on I said, half of his orders, and he might still be doing more. I don't know. I don't know if there's a limit for that kind of stuff. I've never really filed the chargeback in my life. So I could not believe it. I was just mind blown that somebody who I've actually spoken to over the phone, have had this year-long relationship with, would just completely screw me like that. Because now I'm out the product, out the shipping cost, and then you have to pay a $15 fee for every order that they file is a chargeback. So I lost a ton of money on this guy. Since then, I have blocked him from the website, and he can never order from me ever again. But it's just unfortunate, and just things like this you forget about when you think about running a business, and there are very real possibilities. I was looking up a study after this and looking up a few articles on it, reading about, I think it's called friendly fraud or something like that. I forget the exact name, but it's talking about how internet fraud is becoming so prevalent in society nowadays, and how it's only increasing because credit card companies want to keep their customers happy, so they're very quick to get the money back to their customers and take it away from the merchants, especially if it's a company like American Express, which is why lots of companies stop taking American Express. So it's unfortunate, guys, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and cut the video off there. I think I've rambled enough for you guys. Just gonna go out and head out to the gym right now. So yeah, in recap, I'm not starting a GoFundMe. I was kidding. If you have any good business name ideas, either email me or send me a message, or even if you comment down below, whatever. And yeah, have a good rest of the day.